just without a Y. A geek is a nerd. Same thing. A geek, nerd. So you can also make them adjectives geeky, nerdy. So a geek would be a peculiar person, especially one who is perceived to be overly intellectual, unfashionable, or socially awkward. The key here, overly intellectual, that's just a fancy way of saying smart, right?
Yeah.
Smart guy, but socially awkward, not many friends, not popular with the girls. The geeky students in my class are the teacher's favorites. Maybe not always true.
Only use for men.
Oh no, we can use for
Woman.
too.
She's geek.
She's geeky, can I
She's
say?
geeky, or she's a geek.
She's geek.
Yeah. I guess if you're talking about a person, he's very nerdy, he's very geeky. It's probably a little bit more common when you're using a person to say he's a geek, he's a nerd. And then you would use the adjective maybe if you're describing his glasses. Oh, those are some really geeky glasses. Those are some really nerdy glasses. It's probably more common to use the adjective to describe a thing and use the noun to classify the person. Number 2, airy. Light in appearance, thin. In summer, I usually wear airy clothes. I think you can understand this one pretty well. A lot of times, people will say clothes that breathe well. Clothes that breathe well means it doesn't make you hot. Air can flow, and you do not sweat. These clothes these clothes breathe well. They're very airy. Maybe Serena is wearing the most airy type shirt today. But there are clothes that are much more airy than that. Okay, many times almost you can see through them, right? Drab is an adjective, means dull, cheerless, lacking in spirit, brightness, boring, not exciting, drab. Most of Sandy's things are drabber than her younger sisters. You will easily know they're different. This word is not really used to describe people. It's especially used for clothing. And this is what I think of. Her clothing was very drab and boring, drab and dull.
Somber.
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 Yeah, those are, that's coming up later. Number 4, muted. I think this is probably the most difficult one of the 6 words to describe, to explain. To reduce the intensity of a color by the addition of another color. So, muted, also, and more often you see this word used with sound, right? You know, on your remote control, it's mute button, right? Turn the sound off completely. But if you're saying something is muted, it's not 100% turned off, right? But it's much more toned down. That's the best way I can describe it. Toned down. Not flashy. Not exciting. Muted. So if volume is muted, or if a sound is muted, maybe someone is talking, but you cannot really hear them. If a color is muted, it's going to be not bright color, very grayish. That's exactly what I think. Gray. There are types of like a green, like a very boring green, or brown. It's just toned down to look nothing special. Nothing special. Somber. Dark and dull as color, or as things in respect to color. The room is very somber. Anyone can fall asleep in there. Also, when I hear somber, I think of like, not just color. This word is not used with just color. It is used to also describe the atmosphere, the feeling. When I think of the word somber, the first thing that I think of is funeral, or maybe some Catholic church, where not a church where they are singing hallelujah, just a very somber. I've been to a Catholic church before. That is much more somber than other types of churches. And then the last one we talked about it, to tweak. This is a word that's pretty common, to make a minor adjustment to. Your dress is almost perfect, I just have to tweak it a little bit. So the person who's saying this sentence is the tailor or the dressmaker. It's also used in programming. If you program something, but there's a small mistake, you have to tweak it. You just have to make a minor adjustment, a small change, usually to make it better or to make something work. You tweak something. Always, to make it better, to make it work. Any questions about those 6 words? Who is, number 1, geeky? Who is someone that you think of when you think of the word geeky? Any famous person? I'm just asking you, I don't really have...
Oh, Tyler.
Tyler.
Yes.
Good answer!
와 역시
I know Tyler.
영어과.
Tyler is like nerdy.
Very
Same
similar,
thing?
yeah.
Geeky and nerdy.
Geeky,
thing.
nerdy, geeky. It's almost
Almost.
exactly the same, yeah. I would say the same. Yeah. That's exactly, if you think of him, that's a geek, a nerd. Okay.